We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello Aromas, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Changeling. We're here with Ellie in the courtyard. Marc went to go get us our food. I don't know what answer to pick, so they wouldn't definitely do it again? Well, they definitely wouldn't do it again. It's definitely hard to try to end the world when you're in the stomach of an ancient. Hard seems like an understatement. I wish they'd at least let me punch one of them for being such pains in the butt. Pain in the butt also seems like an understatement for someone trying to end the world. I can't believe I'm part of all this now. I can't believe we're sitting here idly chatting about how the world might end this weekend. Anyway, this afternoon I am all yours, at least for a little while, for some awesome, not awesome, testing. We don't have to go through with it, you know? No, we need to get it over with before I lose my nerve. Anyway, I'm more concerned about the possible apocalypse. Maybe I should be asking you to teach me to protect myself instead. Oh, I can do that too, right now even. It can't be that easy. You're a fae, you probably do have a talent for magic, you know. I made a face at that. It's the truth. Look, try this. She said and stepped away from the table, facing the other side of the courtyard. This is just a barrier-type defense spell. You imagine a wall in front of you, then use an incantation like shield or barrier or just something that solidifies the image in your head. Add in a hand movement that defines the shape of the wall, like a straight line or an arc. And then she swept her hand through the air in a horizontal line. Barrier! Wow, she made it look so easy. I didn't see a barrier, but I could definitely feel something. There was a slight ripple in the air as if something was directly in front of her. It was strange. There are variations such as setting up a barrier that also releases a blast of energy to knock targets away from you. Huh. It was still sort of surreal watching her do magic, though not as surreal as imagining myself doing it. Want to give it a try? I don't know, like, what are you two doing? We both started at the sudden intrusion into our conversation. Said Marc. Dang it, we really need to put a bell on that door or something. Oh, Adrian and Spencer. The fuck? We're practicing barriers. Adrian just shot me a confused look. Hey, don't you see here, don't see you here, sorry. Spencer was of course right behind Adrian, who was standing in one corner of the shade, fumbling to get a pair of sunglasses over his eyes. Spencer gave him a sidelong look. It's not even that bright. Bright enough. Not for sunglasses, there's plenty of shade. Vampires, sunlight, adjusted to the clear sky overhead. Ah, I didn't know that was a real thing. I mean, he's not exactly burning up. They don't do that. They're just sensitive to the UV, I guess. It's something like that. Oh, and now he was back and carrying the usual bag and cups from the murder. I suspected things were going to get even more awkward now. He set the bag on the table. What are the two of you doing here? Spencer was curious. He didn't know the door went anywhere other than the library, so I thought I'd show him. Hope you don't mind. Marc definitely looked like he minded, but he didn't say anything. Spencer stepped into the light and made his way to the table. So, it's not bright light in general, just ultraviolet. All bright lights hurt, but it's the UV that can do permanent damage pretty quickly. What kind of permanent damage? Trying to figure out how to defeat a vampire, Spencer? A strange expression passed over his face, and he looked away. Adrian joined him at the table and slung an arm loosely over his shoulder. He wouldn't do that. Doesn't have a reason to, does he? Spencer looked really uncomfortable, but didn't shrug Adrian's arm off. Where is this? Feels like summer. Allie was watching the two of them curiously, probably wondering when they got to be such good friends, like me. I actually don't know. I think it's maybe in the Mediterranean somewhere. That's what I've heard anyway. Anyway, I'm glad you two are here because I, unfortunately, have to run. Again? Yeah. Unfortunately, I still have to check in with Vilos about this afternoon's plan. See ya. God damn it, Ellie. She grabbed her stuff and quickly fled the courtyard, leaving me alone with two vampires and my evil brother. This was definitely going to be fun. This afternoon's plan. All that. Ugh, I didn't want to say anything in front of Spencer. He'd probably insist on being there, and I just didn't want that. Ellie is busy with her internship at the agency, as I'm sure you know. I shot him a grateful look. He handed me my sandwich in return. Did Marc say that? Okay, he did. Thank you. Adrian made a face at the mention of the agency. What exactly does she do for them? She's an intern, so she does, like, intern stuff. He raised an eyebrow. She's been vague on all the details. They go around and poke at things and make sure people in the paranormal community aren't eating each other. Or anyone else. Don't make it sound like we're all terrible. Most of us are just trying to survive, you know. That was probably true enough. It didn't really help me shake the feeling that Pine Hollow had something of a paranormal National Geographic going on, though. The conversation shifted after that. Spencer peppered us all with questions about the supernatural community. He steered clear of discussing fairies, though, for which I was grateful. He mostly wanted to know about the other club members and what type of cryptids were at school. I listened as well, even I didn't know all of them yet. It had been a long time since I had lunch with Spencer at school. It frustrated me how it felt like we'd just completely forgotten how to interact like real siblings, but at least we could sit at the same table without arguing. Marc, I think, was annoyed that we had other people with us, but I was a little relieved. They left a few minutes before lunch was over, though. Uh-oh. Marc and I had a few minutes to ourselves in the club room before the bell. Don't forget that I want you to wait for me before you start the test this afternoon. I know. Will you and Allie be doing it here? Yeah, what? Right here in the club room? Everyone's gonna be coming up in here. Yeah, I figured this is where we'd have the fewest interruptions. Marc nodded. He looked at me seriously for a long moment. It won't change anything, you know, whatever you find out. Either way, it won't change anything. Are you reassuring yourself or me? I want to believe that. I gave him a smile and nodded toward the door. Come on, let's go. Oh, okay. Time skip to after school. School was over way too quickly. Why did it? Okay, so we're doing it out here. I was gonna say we can do it in the fucking club room. Why did it feel like dragged on forever on a normal day? But today it sped by in a flash. Allie and I had waited until the club room cleared out to break into our stash of collected items. We quickly made our way to the courtyard and carefully spread everything out on one of the tables. We surveyed everything in front of us. This is the most random collection of stuff I've ever seen. I concur. Where's your boyfriend? He's not my boyfriend. We're not official. I have no idea, apparently. MC, I guess you are accepting of it? Okay. She must have sensed that I was pretty jittery about all this because she didn't tease me about the lack of denial. She checked the time on her phone with a frown. I don't have a lot of time. Let's just start. He can't be mad if he wants to, but I'm going to go nuts if we don't just do it. Okay, let's start simple and just cross off the most obvious things. Changelings are usually left-handed. I'm ambidextrous. Whatever the fuck that means. I'm sure it means she can write with both hands. I'm sure, right? Yeah, so I guess that's a maybe. I don't know. What the fuck does that mean, actually? I gotta Google that. Me either. What about darkening of the irises? I shrugged. My eyes have always been this color. Yeah, let's just cross that one off too. Eating... What? I don't know. Voraciously? Ooh. English is a no. Being mean and contentious. She gave me a long critical look. Haha, come on, Allie, that's rude. I guess we'll say no to that one too. So you can be nice sometimes. Okay, next is this. She picked up my dad's shirt, which I'd borrowed from the laundry room that morning, quickly turning it inside out. She dropped it unceremoniously on my head. I sat there, staring at her fuzzy silhouetted through the blue flannel, rolling my eyes. She lifted the edge and peered at me. Anything? What is that supposed to do? Technically, this method was used to keep children from being stolen. It might be a little late in my case. Also, this smells gross. I had to take one from the hamper. Can you get it off my head? Allie snickered and pulled it off. I smoothed my mussy hair. Okay, what about the scissors, tongs, and horseshoe? I picked up the horseshoes, turning it over my hands. I'm actually kind of amazed we even found one of these, but unfortunately, nothing really happens when I touch them. Not even a tingle. Not really. Iron's considered a fairy bane, but I think it only works on some. I guess I'm not one of them. To be fair, we don't really even know how effective any of these actually are. True enough, the line between folklore and reality seems pretty blurry. Who even knows how reliable those books are? And what about the instruments? I mean, we couldn't really find bagpipes, but the flute? Not getting an urge to play, sorry. I don't think I've ever played an instrument in my life. Okay, drink this then. She opened the thermos and filled the cap for me. That's the milk thing? Yeah, man, this took forever to find. Milk. I'm just glad there are a lot of farms around here and plenty of people who don't ask questions when you have weird requests. I took the thermos cap from her and looked down at it. What was it again? Something like the first milk from a mom cow after she had a baby cow? Basically, yeah. That's weirdly specific. Would it taste sour? Most of this stuff is. I took a sip of the fresh milk and made a face. Definitely did not taste like your typical grocery store milk. Anything at all. Nope, not really. I don't know what this is even supposed to do. Yeah, unfortunately the texts were pretty vague. Think if we do too many of these at once, we'll cancel them out. I'd assume the results would be pretty immediate. If that's the case, they're definitely all a bust so far. Time to break out the eggshells. Oh, can't wait to see this. What the fuck is that? Tea? A tea canister? She pulled a silver tea warmer out of the bag of items. That's what you're using? I couldn't really work out how to boil water in an eggshell. This seems to like it might work. She lit a tea light and set it inside before replacing the lid, unwrapping a few carefully preserved eggshell halves. She filled one with a bit of water and set it in the center of the tea warmer. What do you think? What is this supposed to do? Well, I don't think I've seen anything like this before in my life. Really? That's what Changeling was saying. I'm pretty sure it's what anyone would say. I mean, when was the last time you saw someone boil water in an eggshell on a tea warmer? Never. You sure you're not just saying that because you're like 800 years old and have seen trees spring up from acorns and what have you? Pretty sure, yeah. What would that do? We both looked down at the eggshells in silence. Can water even boil in that thing? I think the shell might catch on fire first. Probably. I believe I asked you to wait for me before starting this. I totally forgot. I thought Marc went out to get us food or some shit. I forgot he didn't come in yet. Hey, we have a schedule, buddy. You were late. I was held up dealing with something else. I don't have a lot of time today. We couldn't wait. Sorry, Marc. Allie said she was going to have to leave soon. He sighed. What is all this? He gestured to the items scattered on the table. This is how you test to see if someone's changeling. By boiling water in an eggshell, it's supposed to work. But nothing happened. I didn't feel a strange urge to giggle or make weird declarations about how old I am. That's good enough. It just means that, well, you're not a changeling. Or it means the books are full of nonsense. That could be it. But still, hopefully this makes you feel a little better. I was sure it did. It all felt a little hollow somehow. If finding out a changeling was that easy, why would fairies even bother? Anyway, I really have to go. Let's clean up. I'll do it. You should just go. Are you sure? Yeah, it's fine. I have Marc to help me anyway. If he's willing to help. Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait to tell Spencer we tried every changing test we could find. Short of torture and murder. And you passed them all. She shot me a grin and ran through the door to the cafe. Oh, excuse me. Hi. Kea. I forgot her name. As she vanished, another person emerged. Kea, the waitress from the cafe. She eyed me and Marc warily. Sorry, I'm just going on my break. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Not particularly. She stepped into the courtyard and watched me start to gather up all our scattered test items. I dumped the eggshell water out in a nearby bush and leaned to blow out the candle on the tea warmer. Kea watched me amused. Where there's a changeling in your midst. Marc stepped between the two of us, frowning slightly. And what makes you say that? Water and eggshells is one of the most well-known methods to trick them into revealing themselves. She met my eyes and smiled. It doesn't really work much anymore. Nice try, though. I gave her a wand smile. Good to know. She wandered over and poked at some of the things on the table. You tried the first milk one, too. You guys are pretty determined. Well, yeah. She tipped her head back and regarded me quietly as I started to clean up. It must be difficult when all you have to go on are dusty old books and with outdated information and half-baked folk remedies. A little bit. I might be able to help point you in the right direction if you want. Free of charge. Free of charge? No way! You can tell me shit for free. Nothing's free, even I know that. Nothing in life is free, even I know that. And that's especially true when dealing with anything other related to fairies. I'm not Fae, just so you know. I ate her pointed ears. Still, I don't think I'd agree to get pointers for free regardless. I've heard a bit about the murder, including that you always work for a price. I was thinking of just offering some pointers. I don't have to charge for that. At this stage, I don't need pointers. I need answers. Fair enough. Then why not just ask for help and pay me for it? Fuck. What payment do you want? I shot Marc a sidelong look. He had suggested we talk to them. Then our schedules hadn't really matched up. I was a little leery, but Corbin was part of this group, and if they were doing something terrible, surely the agency would have stepped in by now. Instead, it sounded like the agency used their services as well. What exactly do you usually take for payment that's going to make people warn me away from asking people for help? What we ask for depends on what you get from us. Payment has to balance out the services rendered. We don't ask more than what someone can pay, but sometimes we ask for more than what they're willing to pay. That's not hugely encouraging. Does this mean you're going to request my firstborn or something? No, just for giving some advice, the payment wouldn't be steep. She eyed my backpack quietly for a moment. You have something interesting in there. I do? I can feel it. My photos? I pulled my backpack closer and opened it up, partially dumping the contents on the table. Kea picked up the portfolio with some of my drawings and paintings. You're an artist. Yeah? What about one of these as payment? Oh, sure. Hell yeah, just take a drawing. That's all she wants. I mean, in Danny's route, they just wanted a canvas painting. Merle did. Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. I think I like this photo more because it's mysterious. She opened the portfolio quickly and went through the drawings on canvas boards, pulling out a small one, a white-haired, horned woman. Oh, I couldn't even see the horns at first. I was distracted by like the leaves. Horned woman in a bed of shadowy leaves. Then I'll take this one, if of course you want my help. Can you help me? Maybe, it depends on what you want, but I think I can at least offer some insight. I used to be a changeling too. What? She used to? I was completely floored by that revelation. Too? Oh, I hadn't even changed how she'd phrased it that way. Are you implying that Michiko is in fact a changeling? The aura is pretty unmistakable to anyone familiar enough with the process to recognize it. Wait, you're saying I am a changeling, just like that. I did all those stupid tests and I passed them all, and now she was waltzing in saying I was a changeling like it was nothing. My legs suddenly felt all wobbly. It was Marc who pulled a chair out and helped me sit. I stared at the array of weird items scattered on the table. A rumpled shirt, milk, iron shears, eggshells. We'd done all of it to prove I wasn't a changeling, and now? So there really is a real Michiko out there somewhere? And I was just a fake. A real what now? She laughed. I glared at her as she took a chair and leaned on her elbow, still chuckling. It's not funny. If I'm a changeling, that means that somewhere out there is the human I replaced, right? She's the one that really... My voice faltered and I swallowed hard, trying to steady my voice. She's the one that really belongs with my family. That's a really old school way of looking at it. Though, given where you're gotten your information, I can't say I'm surprised about that. Perhaps you should stop dancing around the subject and simply explain what you know. Fair enough, but let me ask you first. What do you know about changelings? Well, what I've read, they take a human baby and replace it with either a fairy baby or an adult fairy, or a log. You know, whatever. The human baby grows up in fairy while the replacement stays with the family. And there are supposed to be ways you can force the fae to return the stolen child. I waved my hand at the table. Clearly those don't work. That's not to say there was never any truth in them, but fairies aren't stupid. The same tricks won't work on them forever. I guess that's true. That part aside, the changing process is a little more complicated than books would have you believe. Complicated in what sense? Look, let's go inside. I don't want to talk about it out here. Fairies don't like their secrets revealed, and I don't know who might be listening, which is very true. But this is where we're going to end today's episode off and figure out what the hell is going on in the next episode. So, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Touch it,